I'm Stuart Morrison. I have been in business for 25 odd years. I can't say that I've seen it all and done it all, but I've seen a lot of it and I've done a lot of it. Hopefully the advice comes with some practical, pragmatic outcomes for you guys. 20 plus years optimizing and running and building and growing and SEOing and managing websites in all sorts and forms, primarily WordPress over the last sort of 10, 12 years. But a lot of the advice will feature in any of your businesses, could feature in any of your businesses. So it doesn't have to be a WordPress website if you're going to use the lead funnels, lead magnets. So I'm currently managing over 50 sites. So you'd think my time would be full, but yesterday I did nothing. I just stared into it. No, I didn't. I did quite a lot yesterday. But I have a team and a process, etc., etc. I advise businesses on web marketing. A lot of people get me in. Katrina was an example of that. And I'm a mentor and train business owners on taking their business and making it less time intensive and more process driven so that they have the time to work on their businesses, not in their businesses. So what we're going to look at today is a workbook session, and we're going to be looking at lead magnets, okay? What lead magnets are, should you use a lead magnet, how and where to use a lead magnet, key elements to consider, and the types of lead magnet there are. There are 9 kind of broad categories, but I've actually got 65 plus specific lead magnets that you could adapt for your business depending on what you're trying to achieve. And we're going to go through that after the break. We're going to go through the how to create a lead magnet for your business, so that you should be able to go away with a very clear idea of what you need to produce, how you need to produce it, and hopefully that you can produce it in a timescale that fits into your business goals. So the things that you will take away today, you should understand how and where to use a lead magnet. Okay? How to create. So what best practices can you use to make sure that it's the best lead magnet for your business? There's a lead magnet checklist, so things to run through before you go live with your lead magnet to make sure that you've done all the various things that you need to do. Some lead magnet examples, good ones and bad ones, and that process to create lead magnets, which the workbook will go through. So first, what is a lead magnet? It's also known as an ethical bribe. I don't know who coined that phrase, but I prefer lead magnet. It makes it sound a little bit less like you're doing something dodgy. So it's an item of value which you give to a prospect or customer or lead of some description to make them do something that you want them to do, okay? Usually if it's used in the early part of a funnel, it's to get their contact details so you continue the dialogue. But it can be used at other points in your business, and we'll cover that off as well. So an example would be, it's usually like a free digital download. The one that most people use is newsletter. It's a bit dull and a bit boring because it just means you're going to get another email, and who needs another email in their inbox? Not me. But it can be a discounted or low-cost real-world product, yeah? A lot of companies use that. Sometimes there's a small payment involved. At that point, it becomes more of a tripwire product. Even if the payment is £1 or £2 for postage, people might consider, do I want to? But if you can get people across that threshold of spending a few quid with you, it can be very lucrative because their trust level has gone up quite significantly. The example of this was a guitar sales website that went on eBay and offered people like 10 guitar plectrums for £1. It's kind of almost a giveaway product, and then they reduced it down to a penny. But of course nobody buys a guitar plectrum unless they've got a guitar or are playing the guitar, so it built their list up. So that could be the idea of a lead magnet, is write to us and we'll send you some, and now they do free customized ones, I think I was looking at the other day, and you can put your name on the plectrum, they'll do that free of charge, and they'll send you 10 of them. What a great way, very low cost way of attracting the right type of people for your business. And then you can start to segment them down. You know, do they play bass? Do they play lead guitar, rhythm guitar? What sorts of guitars? So there's a lot of work to do afterwards. But that's the sort of thing that a lead magnet does. It makes people put their hand in the air and say, I would very much like to know a little bit more. So lead magnets are used to maximize the number of leads that you get from your marketing, okay? Specific to websites, you'll get more people signing up if there's the what's in it for me factor, that people will get something if they give you their email address, or possibly their telephone number or any of their other contact details. But it's usually their email address that you're getting hold of to feed into the rest of your business. Marketing. So where are lead magnets most commonly found? Well, they're online and offline. There isn't really one thing that's definitively a lead magnet. It's basically, as I've said, anything that makes somebody put their hands in the air and say, lean in, I'm a little bit more interested. Is there, what is all this about? So they can be offline, but predominantly we are going to be talking about online lead magnets. Okay. So, who can use a lead magnet? Anyone. Literally any business can use a lead magnet, but there are some rules, and we're going to go through those right now. The first thing you should ask when you're thinking or considering about a lead magnet is, just because you can use one doesn't mean you should use one. All right? Think about what the end goal is for your target audience. You have to think in terms, you have to have a business hat and a customer hat. And when you put the customer hat on, you're thinking, what are the benefits and the uses from the customer point of view? And then you swap it and you put your business hat on and go, and what are the benefits and uses for us as a business? What are we getting out of it? So, should you use a lead magnet? Well, do you want to improve response rates from your website traffic? The majority of people don't have a traffic problem to their website. They have a conversion problem, which is converting that traffic into people putting their hands up, as Scott was mentioning earlier, those quality leads. And a lead magnet can really significantly improve the quality of your leads, because you can do some interesting things when people are starting giving you their contact information. And a lead magnet can lead to another lead magnet. So you could have a download, which would be some 10 top tips. Then on the thank you page, you could say, oh, whilst you're here, would you answer a quick survey? Ask them some questions that maybe segments them in your database. Oh, and then they hit return, and that information suddenly comes into your CRM dashboard, and you can, oh, okay, so we've got 20 people who've downloaded this who want X or Y. Oh, that's interesting. We'll send them a different email than the guys we send the other emails to. So it can be a very useful tool, and you can use it in several different ways. Okay? So if you want to improve the quality of your leads and the number of leads and grow an email list, and you possibly have a lengthy sales process, there's a lot of times when B2B selling is between the initial inquiry and the actual start of the project where you're starting to get some money in, can be 6, 12, 18 months. So a lead magnet is a good way of introducing yourself early on and starting to build that process up of trust. Okay, so they've gone from like and they're moving towards trust. So how and where do you use them? Well, the sales process is a pipeline, okay? And if your pipeline is broken, you can find out where it's broken and apply the necessary fix. Okay, so it's interesting. I think it's always interesting to think of things in real world terms because they're less kind of nebulous, more tangible. And the sales pipeline goes know, like, trust, try, buy, repeat, refer. We haven't shown repeat, refer. Okay, so this takes you up to the point where they're buying something. Then you can get repeat sales, and then your customers refer people to you, and then we start again. We come around to the know, like, trust, try, buy cycle. So this is specifically where we are talking about using a lead magnet, okay? Initially, it is to get someone to put their hand in the air and say, these are my details, please tell me more. Okay, now the customer value of a lead magnet at this point in the sales pipeline is that it builds trust, it adds value, it helps overcome obstacles, the customer's obstacles, it helps them research products, projects, things that they've got going on in their life, health issues. It shows and demonstrates your expertise Okay, and that's what the customer is looking for. They're looking for expertise in a specific niche. And Google is interested in you demonstrating your authoritativeness, trustworthiness, and expertise, ATE, very important. And it encourages that interaction and dialogue. So immediately somebody sort of leaning in and stepping forward, you can have more of a value dialogue that can lead into the trust part of it. So the business value of you using it at this point is you're using it to generate that trust. You're using it to move them towards the point where they trust you. Because in a sales process, you are not going to sell something to someone who does not trust you. Full stop, flat out. If I don't trust you can do the job, I'm not going to give you my money. I'm not going to trust you with that. Okay? So the business value of a lead magnet at this point is you're using it to generate trust, to get the user's details and show your expertise and show them that you are able to deliver on the questions, the problems, the research items that they're looking for. Okay? So whether you're selling rain hats or whether or not you're just selling the idea of a face-to-face meeting, at this point you are actually trying to generate more trust. Okay? The sale point comes after that trust has been generated. So we move down the pipeline. Now, using a lead magnet when somebody already trusts you can be very useful to reinforce that trust. Okay? And from a customer viewpoint, the value in a lead magnet at this point in the pipeline is that it builds trust, it encourages interaction, it adds additional value on top of whatever else it is you have already given them or they've already received. It helps to be slightly more useful. You know, you've got stage 1, here's stage 2. Oh, brilliant. And it assists the user to move towards resolving whatever goal or problem they have that your business can solve for them. Okay? Primarily, that's where lead magnets are used, in the like phase, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Okay? The business value of giving somebody a lead magnet at the trust point is that you build trust. Okay, so you've got more trust in your target audience, your prospects. That makes it easier to do the selling. It encourages interaction. Okay, here's something great. If you've got any questions, please let me know. It adds that expert value. Yeah, I'm just interested in your money. I'm interested in good outcomes for you. I am interested in your money eventually, but you know, good outcomes. If you don't choose to use me, this sort of process doesn't actually cost you anything for somebody who perhaps doesn't use your business. Up to now, it's maybe not taken any of your time to go through these stages of delivering lead magnets. And it shows your expertise. So the more times you are able to demonstrate and show your expertise, the better. You can use a lead magnet once trust has been established to offer them something to nudge them along into the try portion. Okay, you might want to demonstrate in their house. You might want to give them a free audit. You know, just that wet the whistle kind of thing that, is this relationship right? Is this business right for me? So you can use a lead magnet to nudge someone towards that with maybe a voucher or some kind of limited time offer, but that can also be a lead magnet. It increases, from the customer point of view, it increases trust, obviously. It encourages that interaction, it adds additional value, it's useful, it assists the user testing products or services before they actually commit to a buy. But you can see all the way along, they're doing the same sort of things. They're just pushing people, nudging them forward, growing the trust, building the relationship, and encouraging people to take the next step. So those are the primary reasons for it. Now, the business reason for pushing somebody into a lead magnet is business value, is building trust, encouraging interaction, adding additional value, and showing your expertise. So actually, the same sets of positive things on both sides of the scales, one for business value and one for customer value, are the same. The customer's looking for somebody to trust, they're looking for expertise, and you're looking to increase their trust and demonstrate your expertise. It's just the different ways of getting that across, which comes from a customer viewpoint and not a business viewpoint. And we'll get to that in a little bit. So where do you use your lead magnet in your sales pipeline? You can use it at any of these points, okay? But we are specifically talking about here, okay? Because here. Because you can adapt what you do here and move it along. And like I said, somewhere in the north of 70 plus ideas, you can start to put them together into a sequence that works well for your business and your business marketing goals. So wherever you use a lead magnet, the primary thing is it must benefit the user, okay? And not just be a generally kind of, here's something possibly that might be useful to you. It should solve a specific problem for a specific niche of customers. Okay, so there's going to be within your traffic people who are absolutely perfect for you. But unless you show that you actually get their exact problem and you can help them and you help them solve it, then they're not going to give you their details because they're going to think of you as a generalist and not a specialist. Okay? Now, if you are a generalist, you can have different lead magnets for different customer niches. Okay? So going back to the example of the guitar guy, he might have a lead magnet for bass player. He might have a lead magnet for a guitar, lead guitar, rhythm guitar. If he sold drums, there's no point him trying to send an email about drums to guitarists. Yeah? So it's being very specific and very niche about who you're trying to attract. Okay. So the key elements to consider from a business and a customer viewpoint is that when the person downloads the lead magnet or interacts with the lead magnet, because it can be on your website, it doesn't have to be a download, it offers the prospect value within 5 minutes of opting in and downloading it or interacting with it. Okay? They need to get almost instant gratification. 2 reasons. One, nobody likes to wait around for results. They want them instantly. And from a business point of view, it shows that you do respect their time. We've talked about time today. And it helps to increase the value of the trust that you are building. So it's very key that when they opt in, they get value within the first 5 minutes. It must be used by your prospect to have an impact. It's no good saying sign up for my newsletter and then not sending them a newsletter for 30 days, because by the time it comes in, they've forgotten who you are and why they were even looking on your website. So you need to send them, if you are sending them something like a newsletter, you need to send them it instantly and maybe reinforce it with another couple of here are some very popular newsletters we've had over the last month, so that they get used to seeing your email in their inbox. Okay, that's just one example. But it must be used, because otherwise they're going to forget who you are, and the value of building that trust and that engagement and that interaction has been lost. It's also really important to not try and get too caught up into lengthy, difficult, complicated lead magnets. Okay? Keep it simple. It doesn't have to take a lot of time to produce. And it also shouldn't be complicated to use. Okay? There's no point in giving somebody an Excel spreadsheet, which means that they've got to learn how to use pivot tables, and if you click on this and then you go to this other thing and you put in this other information, nobody is going to do that. Okay? So it's really got to be really kind of bulletproof. I said the other day I was doing some work with the PPI, and I said their system was idiot-proof. Unfortunately, it wasn't genius-proof, and I tripped over and caused a problem. But it shouldn't be complicated to use. It has to be very, very simple, and so therefore it doesn't have to be complicated to produce. So here's a perfect example of a good lead magnet. Okay, this was on a self-sufficiency website, so you know, self-sustaining kind of lifestyle. Now, they've obviously know who their niche is, because this talks to a specific niche. Grow enough food to feed a family of 4 in just 4 square feet of space, even if you don't have a yard. So they know that there are two things here that are applicable. The person doing this is possibly a provider for their family. It could be a man or a wife, but they're talking to a family provider, somebody who has that role in that family. It's somebody who doesn't have a big property, maybe living in the city or towns where space is a premium. And that's why they've got the 4 square feet, because it's specific. Yeah, do I have 4 square feet? Most people can think, well, yeah, you know, in that sort of space? Yeah. And reiterates it with even if you don't have a yard. So they are selling to people who have apartments and flats and places which maybe don't have an outside space. And then the lead magnet, which they've shown, this is what it looks like. Okay, it's a digital download, but this is what it looks like. Growing up, the ins and outs of up and down gardening. So obviously it's some kind of system which grows stuff vertically. Thank you. And all they're asking for is your email address. Notice it doesn't say submit. Nobody likes to submit to anything. You submit to the law, you submit to your wife or your partner's decisions. But here it's telling you exactly what's going to happen next. I always talk about when you're asking somebody to interact with your website, you know what's on the other side of the interaction. Unless you tell the person exactly what's on the other side of that interaction, labels on links, buttons with the correct wording on that tells them what the outcomes are going to be, people are going to get confused, or they're not going to do the thing that you want them to do. Okay? I say this time and time again. Twitter did some research. You are 27 times more likely to have your tweet retweeted if you use the words, please retweet. Okay? So asking people to do something leads to them actually doing it because you're signposting what it is they should do. So get instant access. I'm putting my email address in there and I'm going to get instant access. What I would have is when I click that, I didn't see their process, but I just saw this and it was a good example. I put my email address in, get instant access, and I would replace either this or this and have, thank you very much, the download link will be in your inbox. Go and look. It looks something like this, and then demonstrate what the download link looks like in the email so that they know what to look for. So that takes them step by step what they need to do. You need to do this, and then you need to go here and do that. Now that's a good example. This is a bad example, okay? It's too complicated. It's over too many weeks, all right? This could be great for growing that trust once you've got their contact details. But what you're trying to do is get their contact details so you can then send them a 20-week course, yeah? So this might be a secondary level lead magnet because it generates some good trust. It's not specifically niche targeted, so the benefit to that niche is probably unknown to the business that put this together, and it's probably going to be over the heads of who they are targeting because they don't identify with the language and what's being offered. So get free updates and my 20-week e-course, Marketing 101 for freelance writers. Now, you've got to be really careful about using signs and icons from other industries because this wasn't anything to do with travel, cars, mapping, but they've used that maybe because they thought it was a signpost, it would signpost it, but I'm sure it's the 101, thinking it's like, because this is American freeway sign, but their target is freelance writers. But that's a huge, wide, open niche. Is it travel writers? Is it bloggers? Is it people, even if you identify travel writers, what sort of travel writers? US travel writers? Overseas travel writers? You know, who are you actually specifically benefiting? Because if you don't flag it up high and bright and like here, feed a family of 4 in just 4 square feet of space, even if you don't have a yard, that's very specific. I know exactly, I can picture that person, I can picture their living arrangements, I can picture their situation, they may not have a lot of money. That, freelance writer, what does that person look like? I can't nail it down. Okay, so you're going to be very, very specific with your niche, so you can be very, very specific with your lead magnet. So 9 simple examples of lead magnets. The first one is useful manuals or guides, yeah? How to do something. If you've got a problem, if your customers have a problem, this is how you overcome it. This is an example, free New Orleans guidebook. Perfect, okay? If you were on a New Orleans bar website and they said the 9 best bars in New Orleans, of course you're going to put yourself up to be one of them, and you maybe put a voucher in the lead magnet, you know, come into us and buy a pitcher of ales and we'll give you a couple of free burgers or something. It's a good way of starting to drive people into your business. Okay, this one's just a free guidebook for New Orleans. It's a little bit generic, but it's saying to people who are going to New Orleans, this is a guidebook for you. So it gives you a fairly good idea of who would want to download it. The second one is cheat sheets or checklist handouts. We all like a checklist, a to-do list. Have you done these things? Check, 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 check. Okay, it's really quickly, simple to put together. Scott, you might use something like 9 things to do before you pick up the phone and speak to a home installation guy. Yeah? And then you can sort of guide them with those checklists. Make sure your electricity supply is correct. How do you know that? Because X, Y, here's an example of one that, you know, I don't know. But it not only is saying to them, here's something to overcome a problem you have, but it's also demonstrating your expertise. And that's the point with all your lead magnet stuff. It's demonstrating expertise. So here's a cheat sheet or a checklist handout for the ultimate checklist for productive meetings. So their target audience is much better explained on the fuller website. It's office managers and people who have teams that they manage. So a bugbear of many managers is meetings that go on and on and on and on. Great little download to perhaps office managers or people organising meetings to look through and go, yeah, we do that. I'm getting rid of all the chairs. We're going to stand up. Meetings will be a lot quicker when we're standing up, I can tell you that much. So it's a useful little tool that just helps people live a slightly better life. Toolkits or resource lists, these can be really quick to put together. There will be processes in your business that you can put into very handy little guides for your target audience, or give them a resource list of websites that they perhaps might not know that they can go to get results that they're looking for, that you can put together very quickly. Here's my top 10 suggestions for creating X, Y, or Z, or doing X, Y, or Z. Here, they give you 6 things. They're kind of like 6 mini lead magnets. You get a daily planner, a 30-page journal, a habit tracker, a monthly tracker, a weekly planner, and a yearly intention planner. Okay? And that would be a great lead magnet for you. Do your own home health audit. Where are you? Where do you think you are? Right, go through these things, download this, go to this website, check your BMI, do this, do that, where you actually are. Yeah? Comparison of where you think you are and where you actually are is really, really compelling sales technique. Yeah? Because most people overestimate where they are. Yeah? So when they actually see, they think they're a health of a 7 or an 8, and they actually see they're a 3 or a 4, you've created the space for you to step into and say, you want to be a 7 or an 8? I can help you with that. And suddenly you're having a useful sales dialogue rather than some kind of esoteric, I can help you with well-being and energy. Do you know what I mean? So that can be a very useful technique for selling. Video trainings or how-tos. Okay, now I know lots of people get embarrassed about being on camera, don't like seeing themselves or hearing themselves. Get over it. Okay, just get over it. We see and hear you fine. The fact that you have a problem with it, I don't really care about. Yeah, because I've got a problem that I think you can fix. So if you have value to the world, yeah, the world deserves your value. hiding it because you don't like the way you sound or look. That's not very entrepreneurial. So here on Marketo, you can watch a 4-minute demonstration to show how to use their system. Okay? So they just put in a few details and you can watch it immediately. So good way of doing a video, if you don't actually like your presenting skills or you feel a bit self-conscious, what do I do with my hands, what do I do with my face, you know. You can do a screenshot video where you could perhaps show and demonstrate a PowerPoint demonstration of things that you can do to help people, okay? Which could then obviously then be turned into a useful manual and guide. So it'd be like, watch my explainer video and get the guide delivered to your inbox. 2 for 1 there. Software download and free trial. Slightly more complicated, okay? But if you have found a piece of software that you particularly use, you could send the person the link to it, yeah? Especially if sometimes, you know, you can act as an affiliate, give them a free trial and you make a little bit off the back end of it, but you're helping them as well. So it can be a 2 for 1. It doesn't just have to fulfill and be free. They can download the software for free, use it in a free trial, and then if they upgrade, hey, you get a little bit of money in your back pocket. So this has an animation with it, but it shows you how to fill it out and what you can see once you've got it. And this is a perfect example of showing people what they're going to get. All right, and this isn't a video, this is a GIF. A GIF is like a flickbook animation, so it's a stack of images that are just run through sequentially, and all browsers are able to handle it. They're very useful. But this here shows them what they're going to get and just rolls through it. You can offer people a discount or free shipping, yeah? 10% off your first order. Valid for 30 days, so you put a little bit of time limit on it, yeah? Valid off your first order over £30, £20 or whatever. Be a great one for you, Katrine. Or you can upscale. You know, would you like to go large for one extra pound? Fill in your details and we'll send you a voucher. So there are ways to think about how you can use it at different stages in your marketing funnel, but just building up that like to trust. Something simple can do that. Quizzes and surveys. Everybody loves a quiz or a survey. Yeah, 10 personality traits to see, you know, which Harry Potter character you are. You know, which Disney character are you, Tony? Which Disney character are you? Do you know? For our free download of Orlando and destination holidays in America, bang. So you're using something fun to lead into something that they can download, and maybe it's, you know, in the download, you've got 10 different downloads because it's 10 different characters. It shows up, hi, congratulations, you're a Mickey, you know, whatever. But quizzes or surveys, really useful to do. This one here is a multi-part form. So which best describes your home energy efficiency? This is a home energy efficiency website. The Flintstone car, the little engine that could, tree huggers, beam me up Scotty, you know. A great sort of one for you, because also you're using language here that your target audience is self-identifying with, yeah? So you record the result, so you know the type of person, and you might be like, well, the people here who say they're the Flintstone cars, they're our target audience. People who are beam me up Scotty, you'd think they're home automation wizards and would love to have a but they bought it all. They know what they want, and we want to help these people. So when you get a response from these people, that triages down the quality leads. Once you've ticked this, all right, there's no submit or next. The technology is available. You tick it, and it shows you, see my results, yeah? You enter your email there, and it will tell you the 10 things that you could be doing. So each one of these probably has a PDF, and that's what they're actually doing, is saying, right, well, the people who have a Flintstones car for a home, for energy efficiency, are going to need slightly different tips to the people who are beam me up Scotty, yeah? But it also allows you to, you know, segment your list. So that's 9 examples of lead magnets that's 8. There's, oh God, sorry, I just suddenly thought to myself, I thought it was, don't worry. It's my birthday. I'm getting old. So, number 9 is cake. Number 8 is an assessment or test. That is really a variation of quizzes or surveys, but an assessment or test is much more personal, so it's much more useful for health and well-being or personal outcomes that you're trying to, mindset and motivation type things. But everybody likes an assessment or test to get a feeling of, we've all taken personality tests, and we all know whether we're an IFKG or a 6 or top left quadrant, bottom right results, whatever the system was. But an assessment or test can really help segment your list. So HubSpot here have one which is a marketing grader. You put your website in, you put your email address in, and then they've just got some piece of software that crawls your website and looks for very specific things, and then it gives you a report that you can download, sends it to your email inbox. And again, the button, grade me. That's what they're asking you to do, not submit or go on our newsletter list. You're actually giving them what the outcome is going to be. And this is quite nice. Enter your full website address and we'll work up a full report on how you're doing with your marketing online. Okay? It's kind of almost informal. It's just like someone leaning across your shoulder. Oh yeah, put your details in here. Rather than, sticking it up here and making it all a bit kind of official. So think about how that's being communicated. And so number 9, quotes or sales material with pricing. Now, if you've got an online shop, you're going to have to put your prices front and central. Nobody's going to email you for your price list. But someone like Scott or Russell might be able to say, all projects are variable. However, for our guide prices or to set guide budgets, download our different projects with guide budgets for your project. So you could put something like, there's 3 different types of kitchen. This one was up to 10,000. This one was up to 20, and this was up to 30. And you show them and why the difference is. Well, these ones we used pre-made, These ones we handmade, and we did all the cabinets and So then you could have a checklist after that of the type of things that are deal breakers and type of things that are wish list. And that's when you can then book your free survey, audit, design, etc., etc. That's when you get the free 30-minute face-to-face, and you can look at their results and go, oh, right, okay, so you definitely want this, but you could be a bit more flexible on it. Right, well, to achieve all of that and these things over here halfway down, we're going to be looking at the £20,000 range. And suddenly they've got a sense of what their money's going to be, and you could even feed that into the lead magnet. So here, Lakeland Kitchens, they've got 2 different types of catalogue. Well, they did have. Somebody forgot to either upload the picture and put the description on it, or take it off completely. But when I started the process, there was 2 catalogues here. When I did the screenshot, there was that. But this allows you to get their details, their address, their postcode. You can then research the customer before you even go there. Have a look at their house. Is it big enough? Are they likely to be able to afford me? Yeah. So that can help grow your mailing list significantly. And there's a reason to ask for the email addresses. There's a reason to ask for the user's address here, not just the email address. Sorry. It's because you're sending them something physical in the post. So don't forget that a lead magnet doesn't just have to be a digital download. It can be something that gets to the user, into their hands, in the real world, that they've had to give you their details for. But if I'm planning a whole makeover of my pots and pans and storage requirements in my kitchen, then downloading the catalogue with all the latest prices in it, with our biggest discounts, they're not really selling the sizzle here. There's a bit more text up here which I cut out. But as long as you give somebody some value as to why they need to do the thing that they need to do, because it fits what they're trying to achieve, fashions, get our lookbook. 10 exciting looks to go with your rain hat. Do you know what I mean? And you print it up and you make it look nice and you send it out like a real world magazine. But the people who are going to order it are much more likely to be your target niche because that's what they're looking for. And the one objection I have is most people say, oh yeah, but what if like 5,000 people download it? I was like, refer to my first question. Yeah, you've got a conversion problem, not a traffic problem. You won't get 5,000 people. You probably get 50. Yeah, and if you get a print-on-demand solution that's a couple of quid per thing, that this automatically goes to their website, sends them the details, they already have the file, it prints it up with the person's name in it and sends it to them for £5 in the post, which you can do, POD, print on demand. That's a really good way of putting something real world and physical, tangible, especially if you have a high quality product with a big back end on it. Yeah? So if you know that it's going to cost you 40 quid to get a customer, but that customer is giving you £2,000, yeah, profit, it's worth spending 45 quid on a lead, yeah, because you'll convert more. So, 9 examples of lead magnets. Take a deep breath, because there are 66 more. Yeah, just quickly write that down. No. It's all right, you can download it later. You can always download it. Okay, so there's that one. Have you got it? Yeah. And then there's that one. Yeah. And then there's that one. All of these are repeated in the handout, so you can refer to them as you're looking through, thinking about what kind of lead magnet is working well for your business. I would say that the lead magnet that's going to work well for your individual business is the one that the customer will appreciate, not necessarily the easiest one for you to create. The easiest one for you to create might be a 9-point checklist. Yeah, but the one the customer wants might be a download that gets a catalogue that gets sent to their house, not a download. Well, that other one takes a little bit of thinking through and the logistics of it, and etc., etc. So it's just one of those things of whatever you do, focus on the customer or the prospect's needs, because that's going to give you the best outcomes for your business. If you're only doing it because it's easy, then you're going to end up with conversion problem. Unless you're in a very small, tiny minority of people of doing what's easy is also what the customer wants. So the lead magnet shouldn't take lots and lots and lots of time and resources to create unless a fully produced, high quality is the thing for your customers. Yeah? So don't panic. Don't look at lead magnets and think, I can't do that, it's too complicated. Yeah? To build the perfect lead magnet, you need to build the perfect lead magnet for your perfect prospect, because even if you can't build something, there's somebody out there who can. I gave Terry 3 websites, Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr with 2 R's, peopleperhour.com, and Upwork. And you can find freelancers on there from around the globe. The other day, I needed an image cropped out against a background, and it cost me £4.86. Now, I can do that. I just didn't have the time to do it. And spending time cropping out a photo for £4.86, I didn't have the resources in my team to do that. We had a big website launch and we were all focused on that. Got the job done, yeah? And I just literally went, click, can you do this? Yeah. Can you do it in an hour? Yeah, done. So there's always somebody out there who can facilitate what you want. But you have to plan it well so you know what you want. So it's break time, okay? Have a think about what we've spoken about. When we come back, we will go through the workbook and we will take you through exactly how to build a lead magnet for your business. Deal? Yeah. Fabulous. Let's go get cake. Is it extra today? No, it was the 16th. Yes.